me Z and T, cause I'm the best in the game. I got the fame, the style that isn't lame.
Hey, is there a cassette tape anywhere?
I sure do. This cassette is the best, I can attest. Best cassette in the east to the west. Yeah, I ain't a rapper. This cassette's dapper. I'm no capper.
Okay, do you mind if I take that off your hands?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, thank you.
No problem, bro.
And this is this week's Closet Classics.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to another version of Police Beat, the show that gives you some information on your police department which you may or may not know about. Actually, I'm very happy to say that we are going to talk today about a recent program, about a year old, that we have instituted in the Burlington Police Department through the DARE program. Before I do, I'm going to show you the three people. That's a record. I haven't had three guests before. Three people I have, and from my left to your right as our guests, Officer Keith Shepard. He's a DARE officer with the Burlington Police Department. He has held that position for approximately 2 years. He's been a Burlington police officer for 8 years. Next to him is Sergeant Glenn Mills. He's been on the police department for 10 years, and he has been 5 years. He has been a sergeant, and he's a patrol supervisor on the day shift. Next to him is a sight not unfamiliar to our BCAT shows, because I think she holds the record for being on our shows. It's Detective Anne Marie Brown. She spent a year at Reading PD. She came to Burlington PD 16 years ago, and she's been a domestic violence officer for the past, I believe, 8 years?
Just about, yes.
Just about 8 years, and detective for about 1.
Yes.
In that same capacity.
Yes.
Again, this is a program that we've started. You can see we are littered with props. Hopefully we'll get to our things to show you. It's some little, optical things that we use with the kids, because it is a program for the kids. But a little history on it first. We came, the whole thing came about through a chain reaction of sorts, and it started out with a grant that Officer Anne Marie Brown attained for domestic violence purpose. So Anne Marie, I'm going to go to you. Can you explain the whole progress right up until through the start of the RAD Kids program, and I'm going to go to Keith for the RAD Kids. But can you tell us a little bit about that?
I'd be happy to. We, through our Chief Hart, allowed us to apply for a grant through the Department of Justice. It was basically for domestic violence. But I had heard about the RAD program, which is Rape, Aggression, Defense, and that's for women, adult women. And it's a program that I've wanted to institute for a while. So I put in the grant to train police officers to become instructors, because you need specialized training.
Right.
And we did that eventually after we got the grant in motion, and we all became RAD instructors. And through that, we learned of the RAD Kids program.
And I'm going to stop you there. Well, first of all, the grant was through the Department of Justice, you said?
Yes.
Okay, and what I wanted to go, because it was a little segue through the DARE program from that, and which we all got involved in, we'll talk about a little bit. But Keith, you want to tell us a little bit about how RAD Kids developed from RAD?
Yeah, absolutely. You were there for it. We went to the, of course, Detective Brown got us involved in the RAD program, and we became instructors there. And enjoying that so much, I did see quite a lot of similarities with their RAD Kids programs that they had touched on while we were there at RAD. And they had discussed it, now they have a kids program, they have several other programs too. But they had a kid program which was actually brought up to us by Stephen Daly, who runs the RAD Kids program out of, I think it's Harwich or down at the Cape somewhere. Right. And I saw the similarities, and I believe he used to be a DARE officer, and it kind of touched on the things that we do in the school systems. And so it just seemed like a natural progression to go into the RAD Kids as something we could offer the town.
Right. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I
No,
interrupt.
not at all. I just saw that the things that we already teach in the DARE program in the school system, avoiding violence, resisting pressures and things like that, are very heavily taught in the RAD Kids program, but it does bring it to the next level, something that we don't include in some of our programs, and we get more time to be with the kids.
Okay, and that also involves hands-on stuff, which we'll talk about.
Absolutely.
But when we became RAD Kids instructors, one of the questions I can tell you from experience is, well, RAD stands for, as you pointed out, Anne-Marie, Rape Aggression Defense. Okay.
Yes.
Obviously, RAD does not stand for Rape Aggression Defense in RAD Kids.
Correct.
Okay, so somebody want to tell me let's jog your memories here.
Resisting aggression defensively.
Very good.
Yes.
Resisting aggression defensively.
more
We don't want
appropriate for
anybody
the
to mix the
children.
two up because
Exactly.
that would be a concern. That would be a concern. So, people come up to us and they ask, hey, so you're teaching a self-defense program for the kids, which a lot of people think it is. It's not a self-defense program. Anybody want to elaborate on that? What is it? If it's not self-defense, what is it?
It's an empowerment class. It teaches the kids to feel good about themselves and know that they can resist pressures, that they can resist an attempted abduction by the people out there. We don't have we talk about strangers in class, and we're not telling them that strangers are all bad, but that we have to treat all strangers the same and not to be afraid. This empowers the kids when they come out if they really feel like they can take care of themselves, and they lose the fear and they do become empowered.
And so someone might say, okay, that's great. That's great for that to do. But okay, so they resist strangers. That's great. They learn to resist strangers. There's more than that, isn't there?
Absolutely. The kids know that after the class, they have the tools already within them
Right.
to resist these strangers. We know every kid can yell and scream.
Oh yes,
'Cause
we do know that.
Mine certainly can. They have, even though they're smaller than their aggressor or the stranger, they have the foot stomps down.
Yeah.
They can pepper. They have all these tools within them, but they don't know how to use these tools, or when to use these tools,
Okay.
or that it's okay to use these tools if they're faced with that circumstance of a stranger trying to get close to them.
So strangers. Okay, resistance against strangers. What else are we resisting against?
RAD Kids covers, it's incredibly comprehensive. We're covering fire safety, safety from dog attack, what to do in certain situations, how to call 911, gun safety, if they find a gun, what to do.
Okay, well let's go into some specifics as we won't break it down lesson by lesson. We can jump around. Let's start off with. We just start off each class with Officer Shepard. What do we start each class off with?
We start off each class and we end each class the same. And what we do is we sit the kids down and we directly speak to them. And we teach them the 3 principles that all RAD kids know. And I'm going to say them right now. First, no one has a right to hurt you. No one, because you are special. And secondly, as a RAD kid, you do not have the right to hurt anyone else, including yourself, unless someone is trying to physically hurt you. Then you have the right to stop them. And we do stress to stop them. And thirdly, remember, it's not your fault. As a RAD kid, you know that if anyone has ever tried to trick you, hurt you, or make you feel bad inside, it's not your fault. And if it's not your fault, you can tell.
You can tell.
You
So
can tell.
You're not the tattletale that some people get that
No.
misconception of. If you're getting hurt, that type of thing, you have to do something about it. Tell somebody.
Exactly, and that's huge too with the bullying.
Right.
The kids know it's okay to tell because that bully needs some help,
Right.
and an adult can help them.
And it's not about retaliation or trying to hurt somebody. It's trying to escape,
Yes.
get out of that situation.
Get away.
Right. Yeah. So it's not take the passive steps. Let well, not just teachers, but people in the playgrounds, the coaches, and everything else, because they're not there all the time. Can't be there all the
Absolutely.
time for them. Well, we start off each day with that. We go into some activities. Anybody want to explain a couple of activities we do and what? It doesn't have to be anything list by list by list.
We,
Go ahead, hey Marie.
you want to explain the drill on the fly?
Oh no, we can, drills on the fly. Actually, we do a lot of drills. One thing about training, and it's pretty similar to police training, you can tell kids over and over again, don't do this, do this. What to do if you see a stranger and all these other things. But unless you actually practice and rehearse it in real life, when the time comes and you're under stress, you're not going to do things exactly as you're told to do.
Right.
RAD Kids, we're giving the kids the tools to actually physically do these things,
Right.
and just like us, they'll react as they're trained when the time comes.
Right. It's almost like a baseball player. You can show somebody how to hit a baseball. But unless practicing it, unless you practice
and they
it,
actually do it hands-on.
right?
they're
And
not gonna-
it's like anything. Okay, go ahead.
One of the big sayings that you hear Stephen Daly say and all the people at the RAD Kids is, don't tell me how to stay safe. Teach me, or how will I know?
Right, and yeah, you show somebody, fine, but you have to have them do those things. So, let's go through some of the things we have on the table here. Maybe we can get
Okay.
some of the lessons out of that. A big thing is you mentioned dog safety. You want to show our little puppy? You're the puppy expert.
I'm
Henry
the
loves
puppy.
these.
Okay, and what do we do with this?
And what we
have
do
two
is
drills.
we simulate.
Yeah.
We'll have one of the kids, and I have a bigger bark than this little guy. But what we'll do is we will simulate a dog attack with the child. So, say for example, if Sergeant Mills is the child, I would come up on Sergeant Mills, and we will instill on the child to drop down, cover up
Right.
the neck and their face,
Right.
and just remain still. If they happen to be carrying their lunch bag or something, throw a piece of food, but don't run, because the dog is going to outrun you and
Right.
catch up to you and take that as an aggressive move. So we teach them how to resist a dog attack.
And we've done this before. We had a couple of camps last summer, and we'll talk about what we're doing this spring. And it was we thought the kids would be a little more like laughing at the stuffed animal, but they took it pretty seriously. And they learned a lot from it.
Absolutely.
So it was good to see them do that.
Certainly less than traumatic.
Less than traumatic,
Yes.
Rob. Yes. However, the bark was.
But still, the bark was there, and
Good bark.
and I think absolutely the kids, it was something they wanted to learn.
Right. Another thing, let's talk about a little bit, since we have the prop here. We have, this is not real, folks. This is a practice firearm, okay?
Same thing we use in our training.
Same things we use in our training. Okay, it says DARE on it,
It's a red gun.
and it's red, so we can differentiate between a real firearm and a fake one. You want to explain what we do with this? We explain it to them, and then we kind of do a little trick. You want
Right.
to explain it to them?
Well, we show the kids what to do when they actually find a firearm. There are a lot of people who actually own guns legally, and they're all over the place. There's probably a few thousand permits in this region alone.
Right.
And you never know. Kids are curious. They will come across guns, handguns, long guns, and we tell the kids what to do when they find a gun. And what we do is we teach them, do not touch it, don't go near it, and to run and tell an adult right away. So then we take this, we do a drill on the fly with the children. We actually have them go over and they yell gun, and they run away and they go tell an adult. And then later on in the program, we'll leave these around and test the kids later on. And they do a great job of spotting them
Yeah.
and
Great.
telling us.
Kind of reinforce it with them, right?
We reinforce it over and over
I
again.
remember we put it on top of the cooler and we told them to go get a drink.
Yes. Yes.
And they came and they
They
wouldn't
all
go in
came
the
running.
cooler.
They wouldn't go near it.
Which was good. And they wouldn't. When they were told not to touch it, and they, by doing again.
It's
Don't
incredibly
touch a gun,
important.
yeah.
Kids, you never know. These can be dropped. Well, there are a lot of BB guns and pellet guns out there, and while they're not quite as deadly as the real thing,
Right.
there's certainly a lot of them out there, and these get left on the ground, at school playgrounds, in kids' houses. So we want them to react the same way, no matter where they are. They'll run and tell a trusted adult anytime they see anything that looks like a gun. And it's hard to tell. If this was painted black, you actually would not be able to tell the difference between this and the standard issue firearms that we carry.
Right. Yeah, and that's an important part of the thing that some people say, well, they're not something kids need to know, but nobody really bothers to teach them or show them how to act. Let's talk about the drills on the fly. A lot of what we do is after they deal with the initial situation is to go tell someone. Okay, and a lot of times we have them dial 911. You want to show them the prop that we have for the 911 here?
Yeah,
This one
we
here?
have a couple different props. We have
Okay.
a cellular phone that's obviously no longer in use, and we have a toy cellular phone. I don't know if anybody wants to see the cellular phone. This is the one we actually use, and it's been pre-recorded. And we simply try to teach the kids under an adrenaline rush, because we do have certain ways to teach them, and our drill on the flies is probably one of the biggest ways that they learn to be able to control themselves under a pressure situation. And when they have the adrenaline flowing in themselves, and they need to be able to dial that 911 call, which we start teaching them as early as kindergarten, it becomes a lot tougher for them. And they can really see, what they need to do and kind of get rid of those jitters that they're so used to having when they get nervous. So when we say about the RAD Kids training children become empowered, we can see that they're no longer nervous to do this under these stressful situations, and not just the 911 calls. All of our fire drills when they're under the parachutes and all the things that we'll get to, they learn to react in an appropriate manner and take care of themselves without adult supervision. They do a really good job.
Absolutely, and on this particular drill, kids not only learn how to dial 911, but what types of questions the 911 operator may be asking.
Right.
What sort of information we would be looking for as the police department to get the help to where it's needed.
Right.
And also, there are homework assignments which they would be sent home that night to learn how to operate their parents' cell phones if they don't have a cell phone of their own at that time.
Yeah, and did you going to say something?
Well, this is something that any parent watching this show right now, this is something they should practice with their children and their grandchildren at home while they're thinking of it, is teach your child how to use your cell phone, because every phone is different.
Right.
I mean, I've tried to use other people's phones, and you have to know there's certain combinations of buttons, and how do you operate it? You have to teach your children that at a pretty early age, so that when the time comes, they'll be able to use it if you can't.
And okay, so that's some of the things we do. If unfortunately time constraints are such as what they are. Let's talk about the visitors we have. We have some visitors come in.
No, busy.
Don't shut that.
Alrighty.
You see, it's very hard to dial 911.
Absolutely.
Detective Brown shows you. Let's talk about a couple of the visitors we have. We have a visitor, first of all, I think.
Starts with fire department.
Yep, our first visitor, fire department. You want to talk about that, Keith, about what they do, what they come down, what they do?
Yeah, we have the fire department come in, and Detective Brown's husband is on Burlington Fire Department.
Yes, he is.
Is he lieutenant or captain now?
He's an acting captain.
He's acting
Timothy.
captain. Timothy Brown.
Not Kevin and not Jimmy.
We get the fire department to come in, and they're in their full suits, their rescue suits, and they're breathing through the mask, and they sound just like the guy that plays Darth Vader. You hear them breathing through it, and the kids, rather than being scared by this display of the fire department coming and breaking things down and getting them out to safety, they learn to realize what they're really doing. And again, I mentioned the parachute. We do teach the kids how to coordinate with their parents' safety plans to get out in case of a fire. And the fire department coordinates with us really well, and they really back us up on this, and they come in and do a fantastic job.
Right. And you could think of how a kid would feel if a fire happens, God forbid, and they see this big mass coming towards them. They have never seen that before.
And the tools.
Exactly.
So, and they bring the tools, they show them on, and they do a great job, and they help us out.
And I have to say, it is scary to a kid because my kids have some of my husband's old equipment, and they'll come up with it in their friends, and they'll scare the bejeebers out of them. So it is.
I've heard that about your kids. They scare people.
Yeah, they scare people. One does, one doesn't.
And we also have a visit from my second most frequent guest, and that's Officer Skip Belletti.
Yes.
And he comes down and he talks about various safety issues that he deals with. And he does a great job with the kids also.
Yes.
And,
He touches on our out and about safety, traffic and school bus safety.
and school bus safety, which is all incorporated into this.
Right.
Too. Let's talk about the.
Can I mention one more?
Yeah, sure.
Guest? One more guest
Absolutely.
we have is someone comes from our REACH program. Well, the REACH program
Yes.
I was going to talk about that after, but you know what? Before we get into the physical stuff, let's talk about that now. In fact, you're probably the best to talk about that. So you want to let us know what that involves?
We do go over a section concerning good touch, bad touch, and there is a story, Sam's story, about uncomfortable touching, and we have somebody that's not a police officer come in and read the story, and they are from REACH, the domestic violence organization that we work with. Her name is Sue, and she is the child therapist out of that organization, because we also want to be prepared if there are any disclosures after the story is read.
Right.
If any child has been in an uncomfortable situation, that we are prepared to handle that with that child and make sure we do the best job that we can for that child.
And it warrants mentioning that there is no instruction given to them after the story. Take a little break, have a snack.
Exactly.
They just read the story. They don't tell them, hey, if you need to tell, no ideas are put in the kids' heads.
Right. It's just put out there
Right.
and just left in that place.
Right.
And then we have that break, and then we go on.
And it should be mentioned that we do talk about in first and second grade DARE those issues. So it's not something the kids haven't seen before.
Right, it's not brand new. It's
Right.
not a brand new issue. It's a lot of doctors are incorporating. Do you feel safe? Has anybody hurt you? So it's all over in different areas of the community.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting. Did you want to say something?
No, it's just another way that the RAD Kids program brings all, safety full spectrum.
Right.
It just kind of includes everything. And we do that in day, like I said, so
Yeah.
The kids love it. It
You
works
know,
out
and
good.
it's
They
all
hear the
encompassing,
story.
which is good.
Yeah, they're
Exactly.
okay with that. They go with that.
Why don't we do this? We teach them verbal and physical skills, and there's various things we do. Why don't we pique the audience interest and roll a little bit of about 20 seconds of tape, and we'll see a little bit about what they do. We'll show one of the summer camps we had, and then after that we'll just
So very first
talk
class.
talk about what we did, the very first class. So if we can roll that.
These are kids in their stomps.
After doing their stomps.
There's Officer Cross instructing.
Okay, that's a sweep kick. We teach them that. There's the toe kick.
One thing we teach with the kids is that they're not always on the ground. So if you saw that quick clip there, the kids were jumping back and forth.
Right.
That due to the fact that, not to be afraid of an adult that's larger, that they are able to defend themselves in the air should they get picked up. And again, these are our final situations. Here they are back again.
Yep. And now they're working with the pads, which we do practice with the pads, and we'll show you some of the equipment. And there's Officer Shepard who's going to try to simulate grabbing. And you see this is very hands-on.
Yeah.
Right?
Very
exactly.
hands-on. This is
Oh,
what-
yeah.
They
what
get
really
out
gets them
and they
going.
run.
Get away.
She had no fear.
Yeah. And we're going to practice with the pads again.
That's Winston in the background.
Yeah, we'll talk about him, Winston. Okay, good. That's just very small part of what we do. Very few of the skills that we do, but we did have those. BCAT was good enough to do a B News story last year on our very first Dare Kids camp, which was RAD Kids. So the verbal and physical skills. What do you think is the biggest thing helping them? Do you think part of the whole verbal physical skills? What aspect of it do you think it is?
I think it's personally that we tell them that it's okay to yell and scream and raise their voice and call the attention to themselves.
Right.
Because I think that's the key. Once that kicks in, then the physical stuff falls right into place. But they know it's okay once they reach that point that their safety is compromised, that they can let it out, yell and scream, and just call that attention and not just be silent.
And there's a point that we make, and that is it okay to say no to an adult in general? Is that a general rule? They say, no, it's not okay to say no to an adult. How about this situation? Of course it's okay.
Absolutely okay
Okay.
to say no.
And Officer Shepard, as you saw in the video, that was very little part of the simulation, was the person you're saying no to and actually hitting. Is it okay to hit
Yeah,
somebody?
that was the beginning portion of the exercise where they really first start to learn to use the equipment that we use for our simulations and become comfortable with defending themselves against an attempted
Attempted abduction.
Yeah.
Or a bully.
You're right, bullying. Big
Yes.
thing we have is bullying because as you and I know in the school systems, I'm sure Detective Brown and Sergeant Mills have dealt with this, is that the kids from the school systems are now learning that there are bullies out there. Rather than just feeling bad about it, not saying anything, when we say you can tell, they know that they can resist this because a lot of the problems in the school systems, as we have seen with a lot of the different newscasts, have come from bullying, and even kids who have grown up as a result of being bullied
Right.
now carry on those traits as with other.
Yeah, it's hereditary, basically, is what we're finding out.
Exactly, and you're not standing there going toe to toe with that person.
Right.
You're getting yourself free, and you're running away. If you notice with Officer Shepard and that girl, she got away. She released his grip and she ran, and
Right.
that's the bottom line that we're trying to get across.
Right.
I have a couple things here. I had this is actually taken from there's a website RAD has, and I have some statistics. It shows on one side that 80% of the students in grades 8 through 12 and 90% of students in grades 4 through 8 report that they've been bullied at some point in their career. So it's prevalent in the schools. You know how the kids are. I've got kids.
Yeah,
I wonder, you know.
it's like anything. It's like the drugs. It's like everything else. You can't 100% stop it. It's always going to be there. So you have to deal with
Absolutely.
it on its face, and you have to teach people to deal with it, rather than having the police or the teachers always have to be there, which they're not.
Right.
So, and neither are the parents. I mean, that's just the fact of nature. Sergeant Mills,
Yes.
being the only member of the patrol force present and the only member of the RAD Kids instructor staff that is in patrol, how do you see, and maybe be just totally your opinion, it doesn't make a difference, how do you see this affecting the everyday patrolman's aspect of it? Or the reporting of it or anything like that?
Well, the things that are great about RAD Kids is that we not only teach the kids how to defend themselves and get away, we also teach them how to get descriptions of people.
Right.
We do a whole exercise where we're showing them how to look at people, describe them, cars, license plates. And I know from the RAD Kids website that they've had documented saves where they've actually caught people who have tried to abduct children based on really good descriptions by these kids who have gone through this program.
Right, and I'm going to mention the RAD Kids website before you. It's radkids.org, radkids.org, O-R-G. If you want any more information, this is a tease basically, but go back onto that RAD Kids website. As you were talking to me earlier about a lot of people see police work as reactive and that type of thing. You wanna
Absolutely. Police work, generally, it's always reactive. We're always there too late. We're coming after the damage has been done. Personally, I don't like that. I'd rather get up in front of things, be more proactive, give people the tools that they need to protect themselves and defend themselves. And we teach the kids how to be safe and not even get into these situations in the first place. I'd rather prevent this than find a child later on who had already been attacked. I'd rather have a kid who was just not a good target. These people, they look for the weak and vulnerable people. RAD Kids, we give the kids confidence. They're not someone even a bad guy is going to look at them and maybe not feel as comfortable attacking them.
And even the yelling, bad guys don't like attention.
As soon as the yelling and screaming starts, most of them are going to be out of there.
Turn around.
And it must be, before we're going to go into some of the equipment we use, but we can stress that we're not telling these kids this is going to happen to them.
Exactly.
You know, it's like we need you to know it in case it happens. And the statistics say that it's not going to, but you know what? Can you honestly say for sure it's not going to happen to your kid?
Well, we've had 3 incidents in Burlington that I know of. One with an adult woman, someone tried to grab her, and 2 with children trying to be lured into vehicles. So
which is
they
good
are
to know
out
how to
there.
react.
I think that the majority of attempted abductions, I'm having trouble with that word tonight, not really near the homes or the families. It's out in the streets, wooded areas, parks, places like that where the kids might be on their own. So just teach them that if they are on their own, of course. You know.
Right. And
Buddy system.
Exactly. And the bottom line, we stress no adult should be asking a 5, 6, 7-year-old child directions.
Right.
And not to
Or
go near the car.
A camera.
Or the camera.
Or have you
if,
lost my dog, that type of thing.
Absolutely.
Before we go, I just wanted to stress some of the things. You want to hold up the blue helmet, Anne-Marie? That is the RAD Kids helmet. That's the helmet the kids wear during simulation. You could see the elbow pads and the gloves, which were a very generous donation of a lot of equipment from Decathlon Sports in Burlington. They helped out our program with that. The kids wear these. We are heavily protected because they really beat us up a lot. And this is the size difference between the two. So you can see the size difference between the two the helmets, if you guys can get that. No? There you go. There's a size difference. So the kids have to deal with this. And let me tell you something, they do a real good job of it.
They do
An
an
excellent
awesome job with it.
And,
We didn't have one kid give up.
And the
did
shyest
excellent.
kid at the beginning of the week was very outgoing at the end, talkative, really got into the group situation. Before we go, I'm sorry, I kind of have to try to sign off here. What I want to do is I just want to tell you that we did have 2 camps last year for a week for RAD Kids, and hopefully we can do it again this year. Right now we're in 7 weeks starting this week. I don't know when this is going to air, but it's ongoing. 7 weeks of the 5 to 7-year-olds, then we're going to go right into 7 more weeks.
8 through 12.
8 through 12.
Francis
Wyman after school program. So we're really involved in that. Hopefully we can just keep this going and even make it bigger. So I'd like to end the show with the way we started. The 3 kids RAD Kids know. 3 things all RAD Kids know.
No one has the right to hurt you. No one, because you are special.
As a RAD Kid, you don't have the right to hurt anyone else, including yourself, unless someone is trying to physically hurt you. Then you have the right to stop them. Remember, no one has the right to hurt you.
And thirdly, lastly, as a RAD Kid, it's not your fault. If something happens to you, someone makes you feel bad inside, tries to hurt you, trick you, it's not your fault, and if it's not your fault, you can tell.
That's that. Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, you can go for help.
Okay, that's our version of Police Beat. Again, it was a tease. You can call the Burlington DIP program at 270-1919 for any other information, or you can email me at scross@burlmass.org. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Very much so. I might make you reach. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you again next time on Police Beat.